on an open fire. Jack Frost nipping at your nose. Yuletide carols being sung by a choir, and folks dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows a turkey and some mistletoe help to make the season bright. Tiny tots with their eyes all aglow will find it hard to sleep tonight. They know that Santa's on his way. He's loaded lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh. And every mother's child is gonna try to see if reindeer really know how to fly. And so I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you.
Hi everybody, it's Chrissy from Knittin' in the Heights. Welcome to Vlogmas. So we are actually coming to you from way back in the past, before Thanksgiving. I'm actually going to be working on pie crusts. So I'm thinking that with the pie crusts, I need to make some pies. So I've decided this weekend to make salted caramel apple pie, and I thought I'd take you all along with me. All right, so we're gonna start today. This is Saturday. We're actually gonna make the salted caramel today, and on Sunday, we're gonna make the rest of the pie. All right, I'll show you how we make salted caramel. So what do we need to make salted caramel? So you need a cup of pure cane sugar. This is a special kind called golden sugar, but it's still pure cane sugar. We need 6 tablespoons of salted butter cut up into, at room temperature, cut up into chunks, and it's coming to room temperature right now. You need a 1/2 cup of heavy cream, which I just happen to have from another recipe. It's also coming to room temperature. If it's too cold, both of these will make the sugar bubble up and burn everything. You can't see it very well because it's in a white container, but a teaspoon of salt. I'm just using regular table salt for that. You need a heat resistant spoon and a whisk. And you might want to have oven mitt. The recipe recommended having an oven mitt at the ready. Non-stick pan is actually preferable for melting sugar. So let's get this party started. So we're gonna start by putting in the sugar into the pot. I'm gonna turn on the heat and stir it until all that sugar melts, and I'll join you on the flip side. Okay, so the sugar is basically melted and I've switched to a whisk at this point. so that the sugar doesn't burn. I'm turning off the heat completely. I'm waiting for the last few granules to dissolve, which they have. Now we're gonna quickly start adding pieces of butter, and I'm a little bit scared about this part, so I'm actually gonna take it off the burner completely. I don't wanna burn the sugar. Kind of scared. All right, I'm gonna stand back. It's like a science experiment, guys. Oh, it's not too bad. I thought it was gonna be way worse. The way it had written in the pattern was, in the recipe, was that it's gonna bubble up a lot. Well, it does bubble up, but it doesn't bubble up as much as you would think. It's okay. I don't even need this. That's fine. I can bring us back to the burner. I thought it was gonna like overflow. Oh no, that's fine. So another little bit of butter. So yeah, you cut up your butter, and 6 tablespoons of butter that you cut up into smaller chunks, and then you incorporate it slowly. Oh my gosh, this smells amazing already. It's definitely caramel, and it's easy. So this would be great on like ice cream, like vanilla ice cream. Can you imagine how decadent? Maybe with some pecans, or something like that. Oh God, this is amazing. It smells so good. I wish you guys could smell it. I'm not gonna stop stirring because I don't want it to burn, and I don't want the butter to seize up. So I may even put the heat on just a little bit, just to keep this. I'm gonna put it on low, just to keep as the butter temperature brings down the sugar temperature. I don't want there to be too much of a difference. All right, but this way it keeps everything still kind of cooking. All right. Oh wow. I mean, this is so easy. I had no idea. I thought it was gonna be super complicated. So glad. Sometimes you just have to go for things, right? Okay, so I put in all the butter at this stage. Just whisking to incorporate. And I'm gonna use my left hand, which is terrible because I am not a lefty, but I'll show you guys what it looks like. All right, so we're trying to incorporate the butter. Maybe I'll ask Santa for a tripod for Christmas because this is tricky. Anyway, last of the butter is getting incorporated. Okay, it looks ready. Now you're supposed to pour in the heavy cream. Yeah, it's not gonna do anything crazy. All right, cool. So the heavy cream goes in, do the same thing, and you do this. It's gonna, oh, sorry. So it's gonna bubble up a little bit. And I do have the heat on low because I just wanted to make sure that the sugar didn't seize. Oh my gosh, you guys. What is happening with my life? What is happening? This is glorious. All right, let me see if I can have any more of that tiny bit. All right, I'm gonna put that in the sink, and that goes in. And the last ingredient is salt for salted caramel. Oh my gosh. Whoa. There she blows. That's it. How easy. Amaze balls. All right, well, I'll come at you tomorrow. I'm going to turn off the heat. Gabriel is looking at this concoction, this witch's brew of salted caramel. I'm going to put it into a glass container and cover it overnight and put it in the fridge. Okay, so I happen to have some ice cream, and I think I'm going to try this on some vanilla ice cream. You know, one's got to make sure that it tastes good. I mean, I've never made this before. Oh my word. Okay. I'm not sure which spoon to use. I'll use the caramel spoon. Let's see. Tiny bit of vanilla ice cream with salted caramel. Homemade. Oh my God. Listen, if you have sugar, butter, and heavy cream and salt, you need to make this now. Put over some ice cream, put over some apples. Oh my God. This is so good. I'd say forget the pie, but no, I want to make this pie. All right, I'll see you tomorrow when we make the rest of the pie. Again, I'm going to store this up for tonight. Maybe I'll have leftovers for ice cream for later. All right, everybody. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Hi, everybody. It's Chrissy, and it's time for some pie crust making.
So this is day 2 of the caramel apple pie adventure. So I'm gonna turn you around so you can see what my ingredients are.
Okay, so what we have here is 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour, a teaspoon of salt. Again, you can't see it very well. We have 6 tablespoons of butter, cold chilled butter cubed, as well as 2/3 of a cup of shortening. I'm using Crisco butter flavored shortening. And then 1/2 cup of very cold ice water. I basically put the water in the freezer. All right, so I'll turn you around so you can watch what I do next.
Okay, so step 1 is to whisk the flour and the salt together. So I'm just combining the salt into the flour and whisking. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put in the shortening and the butter, and I'm gonna use 2 knives to combine them. And we're basically gonna process them until they kind of look like peas. I wish I had a pastry cutter. I don't anymore. I used to, but we live in New York City, so we make do with what we have. All right, I'm gonna put this on fast forward so you can see it.
Okay, I think we've got it. This looks like most of the butter is fairly well incorporated in shortening, and what is there is about the size of peas. Maybe big peas, but it's okay. So yeah, so that's where we're supposed to be. I just added some of the water in, and I'm just stirring it with this spoon to see if I can get it to come together. I'm gonna add some more. Looks like we're probably going to have to add, well, we'll see. It's supposed to basically form a ball. Sorry, this is like terrible camera work. Again, Santa Claus, you can bring me a tripod for Christmas if you like. Okay, it's starting to form a ball, that's good. I'm trying not to get my hands in it. I don't want to warm up the dough. It may very well need more water than I have, in which case if I do add more, I'll let you know. All right, I'm gonna try to incorporate this. Well, I may have added just a tiny bit extra water more than I needed to, but I think that'll be fine. I'm planning on blind baking this crust anyway to dry it out so I don't have a soggy bottom. So I ended up, instead of 1/2 cup of water, it ended up being about 1 cup of water. You know, I know environmental conditions and your flour can have everything to do with that. So anyhow, we're going to put this into saran wrap and let it rest. I'll show you that.
Okay, so now that the dough has come together, it took about 1 cup of water to get it to come together. I have put it on my board and with some flour, and I'm going to work it in together. Here. So basically you're supposed to do this until everything feels really incorporated. You don't want to overwork it, but you do want to make sure that the entire thing is very pliable. And you don't want it to become too crumbly either. I mean, we're almost there, to be honest with you. This reminds me of my days where I make bread a lot. I used to make bread a lot when I lived in North Carolina. Okay, we're almost there. Just put a little bit of this. Okay, cool. I'm gonna cut this in half so I can make a bottom crust and a top crust. Okay. And yeah, we're gonna let this rest in the fridge. So I have 1/2. Put it in some saran wrap. We're gonna let it rest in the fridge for 2 hours. I'm going to need to finish this one. Don't want it to be too sticky. So if you got some sticky, you put more flour. Yeah, cool. I think we're there. Let me get some more saran wrap. By the way, saran wrap, or yeah, this is saran
cling plus. The strip at the bottom, I swear it can be used. This should be like some sort of weapon in a horror film because it is so serrated. I swear you could get so injured on that little strip. I mean, it does have a warning, but my goodness. Okay, so these two halves are ready to go. Oops, let me just make sure all of that dough is covered. They are ready to roll. Yep, pretty pie dough rounds. 2 of them. They're going in the fridge.
On to the apples. So this recipe actually called for half sort of like baking apples, like Granny Smith's, or about half Granny Smith's and then half of a sweet apple, which I thought was interesting. So what I am going to use is 4 Granny Smiths because they're a little bit on the larger side, and 6 Gala apples. So let me show you what they look like.
So here are my apples. What I'm putting into them, so there's gonna be a little bit of flour to thicken everything, sugar, some lemon juice, and that's it. That's all I'm gonna add. The recipe calls for things like cinnamon and allspice and things like that, which I cannot eat because of my food allergy, which is why I'm making it a salted caramel apple pie. It also calls for, when you're ready to start baking, to add some of the salted caramel. But I'm gonna go ahead and get these apples washed and prepped and add in the rest of the ingredients. Apples are all chopped, juice of 1 lemon added, and I also added a cup of sugar and, no, not a cup of sugar, a half a cup of sugar and a 1/4 cup of flour. So again, a half a cup of sugar and a 1/4 cup of flour. Just gonna mix all this up and set it aside till I'm ready to get the pie baked.
Okay, it's been a hot minute. Hopefully a cool minute for the crust. Anyway, sorry, that was terrible. We are going to do some blind baking of the bottom of the crust. I want to make sure that I don't have a soggy bottom because that'd be terrible in many ways. So what I've done is I have put some flour on my baker's block cutting board thing that I'm using for pastry. And I have my rolling pin and I have my dough and I have my pie plate. So I'm going to turn you around so you can see.
So I've spread everything out. There is my dough and everything I need. Preheated the oven to 425. I am going to use lentils to weight down my pie crust as it goes in. I'm going to put aluminum foil down as well. So I will get you set up so you can see me roll out this pie crust.
Isn't that always just the way? Went to pull out the aluminum foil to blind bake and it like did not have enough to cover the pie. It's fine. It's fine. So I'm just putting it in there for 10 minutes. I'm not putting any lentils on it. I'm just gonna blind bake it as is. Hopefully it doesn't fall. Throwing caution to the wind here. So I'm gonna put the timer on so that I know how long it's been in for. It needs to be in between 10 and 12 minutes. I'll check it after 10. All right, okay, so I'm gonna roll out the top of the pie crust so that when the blind baked crust comes out of the oven, it's ready to roll. I'll see you on the flip side.
Yeah, I know better. When blind baking, you need the tin foil and the beans. So it puffed up quite a bit and then one side collapsed. It's fine, it'll taste great. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm getting everything ready to put in this pie. I will say the sides are just a little bit pliable still, so I might be able to jerry rig them once I put the apples in. So I'm going to very carefully, very gingerly put the apples in, then cover it. So all that apple, sugar, flour goodness, cover it with half a cup of the caramel I made yesterday. Pie crust is rolled out there. I'm just going to pop it on top and then brush with egg wash. All right, I'll see you when I'm ready to put it in the oven. Okay, this homemade caramel is literally the gooeyest stuff in the world. So once it's solidified in the fridge, it is hard to get out. So anyway, got as much out of the measuring cups as I could. And now I'm gonna try to, without burning myself on this pie plate, put the other crust on top. All right, we'll be back. Okay, well, it's not the prettiest pie I've ever seen in my life, but it's the first one I've made using homemade pie crust. So I need to do some sort of design in the top to let the steam escape. Maybe like this star pattern. And that should let the steam escape enough, I think. Let's see, maybe make that bigger. That a little bigger, that a little bigger. And there she blows. She's ready to go into the oven.
So it's 400 degrees for 25 minutes. Then you put foil around the edges. I have just enough, I think, to do that part. I'm gonna make sure I do, but I'm pretty sure I do. You put it around the edges and then you bake it at 375 for another 35 to 45 minutes. This should be a good pie. I'll see you soon.
Okay, the first stage of baking is done. You can see the crust is starting to brown beautifully. The apples inside are starting to look really pretty too. So I'm gonna be adding some tin foil to the edges basically, because that's the part that's most likely to get burned. I've also turned down the oven to 375. So once I put the tin foil around the edges, I will show you that and then I'll tell you the next step. What a bother. I bet you anything one of these pieces of tin foil are going to come off before I put it in the oven. Anyway, let's hold our breath, get it in. So it goes into 375 for another 35 minutes. And then we should have a beautiful apple pie to eat. See you soon.
Now I know why they sell those heat shields. Yeah. I give up. I can't. I have a pile of aluminum foil here that just fell off the pie as I put it in the oven. Okay, well, whatever. It'll be fine. I'll check it. The crust is pretty thick there anyway. Fingers crossed. It's gonna taste yummy. I think she's done. Set off the fire alarm. Never baked something this long. That'll be interesting for Thanksgiving. Might have to open the windows actually. Because cooking a turkey is gonna make the smoke alarm go off apparently. Because Pie Shirley did. I'm gonna turn you around so you can see. She is gloriously sticky, gloriously gooey. I'm gonna let it set up for a few minutes, and then we're gonna try a piece with some vanilla ice cream.
Yes, very sticky, overflowing with juices and caramel. But it looks really good. It's not the prettiest pie, again, but it certainly looks tasty. Okay, everybody, I think it's time to try this pie. This is one of the least favorite parts of cutting a pie. That first piece is always tricky to get out. I mean, that crust sounds very done. Let's see. This is making a hot mess. That's okay. Yeah, that first piece is always the trickiest. I want to make sure it's cut all the way through. It feels like it is. Okay, let me get some sort of utensil I can scoop easily onto a plate. I don't think it's gonna come out great. Oh, it came out okay. Oh, wow. Ooh. That is some steamy stuff. Okay, I'm gonna put some ice cream on top because, you know, you gotta. So just a little bit of vanilla ice cream on top. It's still warm. Oh my, that's good. All right, you're ready to try it. Oh, wow. It's not overly sweet. You'd think with the caramel it would be. But it's not. There wasn't a ton of sugar in the apples otherwise. Mmm. It's really good. I'm gonna try this crust after all the shenanigans with crust. Oh, it's so good. I'm glad I practiced for Thanksgiving. Making a totally different pie for Thanksgiving, but I'm glad I practiced making crust. Super yummy. Well, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this little cooking demonstration. It was real, unscripted. Everything from falling pie crust to fire alarms going off. I hope you all have a wonderful day. I'll see you again very soon. Bye.